Hi, Brad.
Hello.
Okay, so first question is I'm feeling like my scenes are flat. How can I make it more colorful or more interesting?
Okay, well, first of all, you need to ask yourself what style you're in because you're gonna approach that different depending on the style. For example, if I'm playing a drama, the main focus that I'm gonna want to sort of pay attention to in order to sort of make the scene not so flat is to always sort of build the conflict in the scene. To just know that if I start a scene at a certain level of intensity or energy, we'll just for fun, we'll say from 0 to 100. Let's say 100 is the most amped and energized I could be, and 0 is nothing. Let's say you start the scene and you're about 50. You're about halfway what you're capable of, and use that as low as you could possibly be. Just know that as the scene goes on, energy-wise, intensity-wise, conflict-wise, it needs to gradually slope upwards to give it that sort of arc towards a climax. And that way, the audience sort of feels like they're taken on a little bit of a journey, a little bit more of what's the word I'm looking for? The key to it is thinking of a scene as a song, and it has a beginning, middle, and ending, and heads somewhere. That's number one. Number two, what you can do in a drama, and this also has to do with dealing with a comedy too, but don't just deliver the line because it's there. Okay? In other words, look for moments between the lines. Place things that you can do that are not even in the script. You may have a line, maybe don't say it yet. Maybe instead of just saying the line, you make a choice to walk out and leave a silence there with nobody talking. And then you've kind of hooked your audience into sort of wondering, well, what's going to happen next? And you've hooked them. And that's sort of your goal, is to keep us interested. And then the last thing to think about when it comes to drama, your moments have to get gradually more and more clever, and more sophisticated. And, in other words, think about a scene. I use this example a lot, but like a fireworks ceremony at the 4th of July. And you start small and you end with big lights lighting up the whole sky. So if you're going to start the scene, at some tone or some level, just know that as the scene goes on, your movements, your behavior, your emotional intensity has to gradually build as the scene goes on. When it comes to comedy, it abides by a similar principle, meaning that your jokes have to get gradually more and more sophisticated. Your jokes have to get gradually more and more colorful. Like if I start a scene establishing a certain tone where I run a certain way. We were just doing a scene today where I run a certain way that's kind of funny. Well, the audience is sort of expecting a certain sort of vibe in the scene. So you don't want to sort of give them this sort of colorful moment at the beginning of the scene and then less as the scene goes on. It's got to keep building in color, in flavor, in eccentricities, in strangeness. So hopefully that addresses that question.
That's great. Thank
Cool.
you.